Kevin Spacey accuser hit by a car and dies. July, second accuser mysteriously drops lawsuit. September, third accuser dies, unknown cause. Today, Ari Byrne, a fourth accuser, is found dead. Do they think we are this stupid? Rivers never go in reverse, so try to live like a river. Forget your past and focus on your future. Always be positive. Be happy and enjoy life. This is a bag of M&Ms, and as you can see, partially produced with genetic engineering. That is a reason to never buy M&Ms ever again. Have a strong faith in evolution and call it science. Theory of evolution. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Darwin's atheist. Evolution, the greatest lie ever told by science. This is a warning. Beware. Geomatrix.org is a CIA mind-reading bot spying on people. I'm passing it on. Learn to be okay with people not knowing your side of the story. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You don't need religion to have morals. If you can't determine right from wrong, you lack empathy, not religion. Apparently, Russell Brand exposed as a paedophile. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you, but let's have a read. Revolution leader Russell Brand is looking down the barrel of his broken career after damaging revelations have surfaced exposing him as a paedophile on the same stature of and ilk as Jimmy Savile. Promoted on various Facebook pages, damning videos have been posted which expose Russell Brand as a predatory paedophile, protected by the establishment, what a shock, in much the same way Jimmy Savile was protected and nurtured throughout his showbiz career. In this video, posted by the Alien Fossil Project, Russell Brand is seen surreptitiously touching up a young girl's developing breasts. Links are in description if you want to see the video. It's hard not to agree with the narrator in that it's painfully clear Russell Brand is indeed surreptitiously touching up a 12-year-old girl's breast, and there's no excuse for that. A billionaire bootlegger. Courtney Love complained he smelt so bad that he was one of the few celebrities she didn't sleep with. Spacey accuser and former husband of Norwegian princess dies, aged 47. Spacey of groping him at a concert for the Nobel Peace Prize in 2007. The writer spoke to radio station P4 about the incident in 2017, according to the BBC. Ari Byrne, Scandinavian writer and former husband of Norwegian Princess Martha Louise, has died aged 47, his manager said. Mr. Byrne, who is in 2017 accused actor Kevin Spacey of sexual misconduct, took his own life on Wednesday, his manager revealed, and was found at his home in Norway, according to authorities. Nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. Move along. The Norwegian royal family said in a written statement that Mr. Byrne was an important part of our family for many years, and we carry warm and good memories of him with us. Mr. Byrne, who was born in Denmark, and Martha Louise, the oldest daughter of Norway's King Harald and Queen Sonja, were married for 14 years. The couple divorced in 2017 and have 3 children. The relationship had its critics before it even became official. The Catholic Church is shocked at the hundreds of children buried at Tuam. Really? The discovery of remains at a former home for unmarried mothers shows that Ireland is still in denial over horrific legacy. It has been confirmed that significant numbers of children remains lie in a mass grave adjacent to a former home for unmarried mothers run by the Bonsecours sisters in Tuam, County Galway. This is exactly where local historian Catherine Corliss, who was instrumental in bringing the mass grave to light, said they would be. A state-established commission of inquiry into mother and baby homes recently located the site in a structure that appears to be related to treatment, containment of sewage and or wastewater, but which we are not supposed to call a septic tank. The Archbishop of Tuam, Michael Neary, says he is deeply shocked and horrified. Yeah, right. Deeply, because what could the church have known about the abuse of children in its institutions, just like it knew nothing about the rape by the priests? When Irish Taoiseach Enda Kenny was asked if he was similarly shocked, he answered, absolutely, to think you passed by the location on so many occasions over the years. To think, because what would Kenny, and in Irish politics since the 70s, know about state-funded, church-perpetrated abuse of women and children? Even the Commission of Inquiry, already under critique by the UN, said in its official statement that it was shocked by the discovery. Northern Ireland Child Abuse Inquiry to publish report in Belfast. It's all coming down for the bastards. Speaking of bastards, workers in Germany support French workers' strike against Macron. Last week, WSWS teams discussed the strike by French workers against the Macron government's attack on pensions with Opel workers in Rüsselsheim, near Frankfurt, and Siemens in Berlin on December 17th. A meeting of the SGP, the Socialist Equality Party in Germany, in Berlin discussed the international significance of the strike movement in France. The Siemens workers were very interested in the strike and expressed their support for the strikers in France. Two sentences constantly came up. In France, they know what to do. They must not give in. And we should all fight together in Europe, or we will all die, each in his own corner. The Siemens plant is one of those affected by massive layoffs. A few months ago, hundreds of workers protested at several sites against the job cuts negotiated with Siemens by the IG Metall Union. Many workers are aware that they are dealing with a transitional group that operates around the world and can do wage dumping because unions isolate their actions by confirming them to the local level. Confining them. With the help of the unions, Siemens pits workers against each other internationally, though workers face the same problem in every country. There was widespread sympathy with French workers in struggle. Pensions in the EU should be all equal and high. The retirement age should fall, but we have to do it again. Now remember, in this country they're on about putting it up further. Axel told the WSWS, adding that unions had done nothing when their retirement age was raised to 67 in Germany. Anne, in her 50s, worked at Bosch and another large company. Things are going very badly at Siemens after the intervention of the McKinsey consulting firm. She said, "We should all stop working for a few days, everyone." Armin, a 75-year-old worker from Macedonia and former employee of Siemens, where his son works today, invoked the strike in France. Yes, the French are on strike, but when the retirement age was raised in Germany, no one protested. Many were so deceived by the media and the unions that no one seriously fought against pension laws. The media always say that Germany is the richest country, but there are so many homeless people here because rents are going up. Millions of people are working as temporary workers and living with bare necessities, he said. I have now been working at Siemens for nearly 18 years, 8 years as a temp and now 10 years as a permanent worker, says Petra Kay, a worker in transmission production. The strike of French workers is very important. They must at all costs avoid the deterioration of the pension system because it is their future. And the same's happening in this country. The Rasa, a hydrogen-powered car that emits water instead of carbon dioxide. Now this has been going on for over 50 years. We've had the capability to run cars in water. The first that I recall was back in '74 in France. Then in the '80s it was Stanley Meyer in America who ran vehicles on water, but then they can't keep us as slaves if we don't have to pay horrendous prices for petrol. It's been a long road for fuel cell cars to get to where they are now. Possible option. It all started back in the 1980s when fuel cells themselves had to be physically shrunk to fit into normal car, not the back of the van. They then had to make them affordable and the fuel able to be widely available. All of these obstacles have been overcome, yet fuel cell cars still have not been mass adopted. That is because they were not found to be very efficient. To produce the gas, compress it and transport it is costly. However, there is a special little fuel cell car, a Rasa, that is drastically more economical, and its creator has come up with a more efficient hydrogen distribution system. 2. The car and the system around both part of a grand plan by the company Rivers Simple, founded by Hugo Spowers, former motor racer and mechanical engineer of race cars. Macron, accused of treason by French generals for signing UN Migration Pact. At least their military have got some bollocks and will stand up and say when the shit is shit. General Antonio Martinez has written the letter signed by 10 other generals and admiral and colonel, and also includes former French Minister of Defence Charles Millon. They've given strong warning that Macron signing the UN Global Migration Pact strips France of even more sovereignty, providing an additional reason for an already battered people to revolt. The highly decorated military co-Chinese assert that the beleaguered Macron is guilty of the denial of democracy or treason against the nation for signing the Migration Pact without putting it to the people. Same as what happened in this country, yet why are we not up in arms about it? The French state is late in coming to realise the impossibility of integrating too many people, in addition to totally different cultures, who have regrouped in the last 40 years in areas that no longer submit to the laws of the Republic. The letter advises also saying that mass immigration is erasing France's civilization landmarks. By design, that's the plan, always has been. The pact, which has been protested in yellow vest demonstrations in 5 countries, was signed by 164 nations, all traitors, every single one of them. Most against the will of the citizens, as stated in dozens of country-specific petitions on Monday in Marrakesh. The immensely opposed and disastrous document declares unlimited migration to be treated as human right and criticism of mass migration to be treated as hate speech. They're trying to destroy our nation. Every nation. We must stop them at all costs, or it will be the end for us all. Pope Francis unveils globalist new world religion at summit with United Nations leader. The Pope wants globalism to replace traditional religion. And as you can see in the picture there, you've got the all-seeing eye and a pyramid. It's all the bullshit from the Illuminati, secret society, crap wankers that's going on there. They're the only ones pushing this. Everyone else can see it's utter disaster. Pope Francis, war on traditional Catholicism, has been ramping up recently. That's because he's a satanic bastard. And he castigated Catholics who believe in tradition and refuse to warp biblical scripture to appease a goddess world for creating a minefield of misunderstanding and hatred. Rigidity and imbalanced fuel once another is in a vicious circle, he said, and these days the temptation to rigidity has become so apparent. Tradition is not static, it's dynamic, Francis added. Francis revealed the dogma that he intends to replace belief in Christ as Saviour with last week. He is advocating for Catholics to unite behind a one world government and surrender their freedom and sovereignty to international interests. There you have it in black and white. Trust and dialogue between people and between nations in multilateralism is the role of the international organisation, and in diplomacy as an instrument for appreciation and understanding is indispensable for building a peaceful world, Francis claimed. In other words, they want rid of us all, and they're going to do it by any means they can, and this is just one of the means they're using. American College of Pediatrics researchers' decision: transgenderism of children is child abuse. The American College of Pediatricians issued a statement condemning gender reclassification in children by stating that transgenderism in children amounts to child abuse. I absolutely agree. The American College of Pediatricians urges educators and legislators to reject all policies that condition children to accept as normal a life of chemical or surgical impersonation of the opposite sex. Facts, not ideology, determine reality. And this won't shock you at all. Rumours suggest Epstein's clients included Queen Elizabeth, the filthy, satanic paedophile. Queen Elizabeth was reportedly one of Jeffrey Epstein's clients before the recent child sex trafficking accusations came to light, according to a 2011 Vanity Fair article. In an interview with Epstein and his associates, journalist Vicky Ward discusses the billionaire's complicated past and explores his ties to influential public figures such as Bill Clinton and Kevin Spacey, as well as his billionaire-only clientele. Also on the list of admirers are former Senator George Mitchell and a gaggle of distinguished scientists, most of whom Epstein has helped fund in recent years. They include Nobel Prize winners Gerald Elderman and Murray Gell-Mann, and mathematical biologist Martin Nowak, and the article states. Speaking with Glenn Mann, Vicky Ward discovers that there are always pretty ladies around when he has dinner with Epstein. He's under the impression that Epstein's clients include the Queen of England, Vicky writes. Both Nowak and Deschowitz were thrilled to find themselves shaking the hand of a man named Andrew in Epstein's house. The article continues. And of course, we know which Andrew that is. Revenge. Molech for the big boys. The Grove, as it turns out, appears to be for the labourers. I'll post a disclaimer here. I have not been to the Grove to see how nice it is, but I can surely state it does not get nicer than this. What I have here is the upgrade. It includes shag rooms inside Molech's head, in an absolutely private and pristine setting that is nearly unapproachable and was only reached with a fair amount of work. By the way, this place can, like the Grove, have flames come out of the ground, plus a place for hanging, plus an obvious ritual tower, and it is really spooky. Molech, which is clearly has shag rooms behind the eyes. Additionally, the place is suitable for child hunts. No child would ever get out of those woods, and the entire main theme is weaving spiders come out at night, all documented. This particular post is going to be worth alerting David Icke, Alex, and everyone else over. It is totally new stuff, and another Grove, Epstein's Island, all rolled into one. First of all, context. These photos were taken with one of the world's most powerful cameras, and this particular shot, which was the only way to get the Molech face, was taken from a mountain that was about 1 kilometre away. I have all others that were taken right on the boundary, but for what we are dealing with here, this was the only one to get what this really is to show. It's a Molech convention centre with a weaving spider's roof. The actual size of this is about 20,000 square feet. In front of this is a 15-acre field that is perfectly open and showing Molech perfectly. Once you get past the fence, embedded into the ground are numerous pipes that can shoot flames. The entire location is very luxurious, with a full-time groundskeeper and security who live in the home in the foreground that is about 200 yards away from the Molech. You can't tell any of this in the particular image because of the image depth compression and happens with a mega powerful lens. For example, the trees are old growth and have trunks 8 foot in diameter, and this tower is taller than them. All see how huge this here all is in subsequent photos. Links in description if you want to see the photos. A team of experts discovered the lost city of giants in the jungle of Ecuador. According to many legends and myths, the Amazon jungle hosts a race of gigantic humans. Furthermore, the many Amazonian tribes tell stories in relation to these fantastic creatures and their settlements. A team of experts decided to travel to Ecuador in order to prove whether these stories are true or just pure fiction. They were helped by the Aboriginals to a secret place where very strange and mysterious rituals take place. When they arrived at the place, they discovered a gigantic megalithic structure. The surface of the structure was flat and polished. According to experts, the purpose of that structure was ceremonial. It is almost impossible to imagine how someone would manage to build such a prodigious structure hundreds of thousands of years ago. However, the most interesting thing was not the construction itself, but the variety of utensils found around it. These skeletal figures represent just a few giant human remains unearthed and documented in historical records, along with the historical accounts of Goliath, who had 3 brothers as big as he. Og, king of Bashan, was a bed whose bed was 13.5 foot long, and Maximus Thrax, a Caesar of Rome. And as you can see from the picture, 6 foot is that one down there, 36 foot is that one way up there. The size would have made them impossible for a normal person to handle them. You say that these tools confirm the existence of these extraordinary creatures. Have a look at the following video for more information, and please don't forget to share your opinion with us. As I say, links in description if you want to see the video. It's very interesting. Council tax bills are set to rise by an average £70 next year, a 4% rise, which is more than double the rate of inflation. Prime ministers, monsters more like, will give town halls the power to put up the levy by 2% in April. On top of this, they will be able to add a further 2% to pay for social care. None of it goes on that. It all goes on their pensions. We should stop paying it immediately. This combined 4% increase could see the bill going by £70 next year. Housing Secretary Robert Janderick revealed the plan in a statement yesterday. He wants hanging. Families were hit with the pre-Christmas bombshell last night after it emerged that average council tax bills could soar by £70 next year. Ministers revealed they would give town halls the power to put up the levy by 2% in April. On top of this, they will be able to add a further 2% to pay for social care. This combined 4% increase could result in the average Band D council tax bill going up from £1,750 2019-20 to £1,820 next year. Those in more expensive Band H homes could see the bill rise by £140. Why are we paying nearly £2,000 to a bunch of corrupt paedophiles, which is pretty much all the major council works? Those at the top are all involved in this paedophilia and protect it. Ordinary Heroes 2020 Honours List features inspiring stories of resilience, courage and devotion from people who have dedicated their lives to helping others. And let's not forget who's in them honours list. Oh yeah, the murderer, the mass murderer, Ian Duncan Smith. This is to try and make you think it's a good thing when mass murderers get it as well. It's not good. The Times. Anger over honour for ex-law chief. Former DPP gets damehood despite sex crime chaos. Mirror. George Michael's sister dead on Christmas Day. Family hit by tragedy exactly 3 years after Wham star's death at his home. Utter waste of paper. My 1 million Prezi. Pub chef wins lotto jackpot. Great. George Sis dies on Christmas Day. See, the papers, they just give you shit. The scum. Utter scum. Olivia Newton-Gong. 3 years exactly day. George Sis dies on Christmas Day. Express. George Michael's sister dies. Yeah. Russell Grant's. Yeah. Fury at Brussels seeks to hinder PM's Brexit drive. EU bid to delay trade talks. New Year honour for Greece star Olivia and pedo Elton. The Guardian. Brutal and hostile. Labour drove me out, says Watson. Watson, he was a deputy prime minister, but he was also a paedophile. He had filthy, the top grade paedophile stuff on his laptop, and nothing happens because the paedophiles are protected. You're the dame that I want. Greece stars New Year honour. Insomnia and the battle for sleep. You notice the eye there, all-seeing eye there. Daily fail. Bloated Britain's health warning. Expanding waistlines, putting half of middle-aged at risk of killer disease. George Michael's sister. Yeah. FT. High hope. Stock reveals revel in bumper year. Amazon Deliveroo tie-up in doubt. Regulator opens antitrust inquiry. No stone unturned on big tech fears of prices. Johnson seeks to close wealth gap by shifting civil servants outside of London. How about getting rid of them because we don't need any of them because they only work for you lot, not for us, never for us. Putin's example tempers Russia's latest for alcohol. I found the key to happiness. Stay away from assholes. I was educated once. It took me years to get over it. Mark Twain. It was 11 years ago today that my pal James came running out of the room shouting, "It's a boy! It's a boy!" with tears streaming down his face. We never went back to Thailand.